Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, I need to.
It's kind of a trek up here.
It's okay. But the stairs are a little bit narrow. I think, can I find the room?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit like you're walking into a cupboard.
Yes. Oh, but the room is spacious.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's not massive, but it's big enough. So yeah, how's everything going with you? What are your deadlines for the dissertation?
The Mark sent an email to us that as soon as possible and didn't pass the deadline.
Sorry?
The Mark Newman
Yeah.
sent emails to the students that we need to complete the outline, the proposal and the ethic forms as soon as possible.
Right.
But he didn't say. He said we aimed to complete at the end of March, but if you cannot, you need to do as soon as possible.
Right. I see. So how big is the outline? What does the outline involve? That's all you need?
No, you mean the outline I need?
Yeah.
It's maybe about 2,500 words.
Right. So a lot more than you've got. Yeah. So, in relation to what you've got, I think the research questions look okay. I think you need to, because you slightly change them in different places, and I think you just need to be very clear about exactly what they are. It seems to me that one of them is, why do Chinese students return home? And one of them is, what makes returning home difficult? And with that, I suppose it's the employment situation. And then, third one, let me just put it up. Yeah. Yeah, so the kind of main one, what are the factors that, why does Chinese students go back to China? And I suppose here, because you talk about it slightly differently in the, in the aims, here you suggest that part of the problem is that it's difficult for people when they get back home. So I think it might make sense to have the first research question, what are the factors that influence Chinese students going home? What is difficult when they return home? Including the employment situation. And then, how should the Chinese government address this issue? Do you see what I mean? And I think the thing that really needs, so I think the research questions are fine. I think those work as research questions, which is the main thing, because that's what's often difficult. But the thing that you need to develop is this bit, obviously, the theoretical framework. It's just a bit thin.
A little bit
thin. So this is what needs some development. I don't know what you mean by cultural shock, whether you're just referring to just the kind of culture shock generally, the concept.
I mean about the culture shock is about after they study in here, they find out they cannot get a good job here. So they go back to China.
I see. That's one of the factors why they go. That's one of the reasons why they go back to China. Right. I see. Well, I mean, I think what's useful about it is that I don't know if there's any research really that looks at that. So in that sense, it could be quite original.
You mean maybe there are not some literature on culture shock?
Culture shock. I mean, I don't think the culture shock. It's going to work just because I think culture shock is it's such a broad term, and it's not really a theoretical framework as much as an idea that we use in college. Do you know what I mean? I do think that there are lots of people that work on international student migration, and it'd be worth reading that work.
Oh, yeah.
So one person is Rachel Brooks.
Rachel
Brooks. So if you write down,
yes.
International student migration. From there, you'll be able to find other work, other literature on international student migration. And I think rather than focusing on theoretical frameworks, which I'm not sure, I think that might just be difficult, I wonder whether instead you just need to think of different areas of literature. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, you mean I need to list the different areas of literature?
Well, it sounds like if it's 2,500, you need to do
You
need to do more than list them. You need to actually write quite a bit about them. So I think you need to go and find out what the literature is that's relevant. Starting with Rachel Brooks, she will give you some other references. You know, within her work, you see other references to other people who work on international student migration. So one area is international student migration. One area, I suppose, is the Chinese labour market in terms of literature. So you'll need to go do some research on the Chinese labour market, find the literature on that. Push-pull theory is relevant, you know, so you might want to keep that in. But I think in a way, the first thing to do, rather than looking at that first, the first thing to do is go away and research those two areas of literature. So international student migration and secondly, the kind of Chinese labour market context. And I think the international student migration one is going to be the one to start with. I think that's the one to focus on, because within that literature, it's not my field, student migration. But within that literature, you'll find out what the kind of key theories are for, you know, in relation to
international students.
And I don't know whether there's any work, there probably is some, but there probably isn't very much work looking at students returning home, which is why I think it's an interesting, you know, it's an interesting project in that sense. Because I don't think there is much work in this area. So that makes it useful and original. So I think you can put together a nice rationale for why this project is necessary. Because there isn't, I assume there isn't much work, but when you look into international student migration literature, you'll find out whether there is much work on students returning home or not. I mean, there isn't really much else for me to say. I think the methods look fine. I think interviewing 6 to 8 students sounds sensible. I do think it's quite. I just think it's this that needs more work. Yeah. So I think starting with the literature is really the thing to do.
And just you mentioned the name of the
Rachel Brooks.
Rachel Brooks.
Rachel Brooks. Professor at the University of Surrey. But yeah, there are lots of other people that work on migration. But I think, you know, if you look at her references, that will send you in lots of areas. In relation to ethics, so what have you been told about when you need?
Not a specific date.
Not a date.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not going to be interviewing what's referred to as a vulnerable population, because you're going to be interviewing students. So I shouldn't think you need kind of formal. I shouldn't think you need to do an ethics application, but you might need to do a kind of reduced version. So have you had any? You haven't been given any information about ethics? No. That seems strange. The program hasn't. Normally, you'd have like a workshop on ethics for your dissertations or something.
In other workshop, we have one workshop for ethics. Yes.
You had one.
Yeah, I have one.
You've already had it.
Yes, just maybe 2 or 3 months ago, we have
Right.
workshop.
So what did they tell you about what you need to do?
And just we have word, and it's the ethics form we need to fill it.
That's really, yeah, so
Yes,
you need to fill it in.
Yeah.
Great. So, okay, that's useful to know. So you have to fill in the ethics form. Did they mention anything about whether or not you might, because sometimes student work has to go through to the kind of formal university ethics committee if it's considered kind of ethically challenging. And I shouldn't think yours would, but it sounds like you probably just need to fill in the application. Would you be able to send that application to me? The application form that you need to fill in?
I haven't sent to you.
No, yeah, could you?
I get that.
That would be really useful.
Yeah.
Then I can see what you need to do.
Okay.
That'd be great. Fantastic. Yeah, so the main thing I think really is to just have a look at the Right.
I haven't filled it.
I see, great. That'd be brilliant. I think it's the same then as the undergraduate one. It looks the same as the undergraduate one. Yeah. And so you haven't been given a date for submitting this? No, okay. Well, I'll look up on the Moodle site and find out what it says about ethics there as well. Great, okay. So you just said as soon as possible a 2,500 word overview.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible, right.
Yeah. So.
That's a bit vague, it's a bit. Okay. Well, I mean, all I could say really about that is you're going to have to add the literature in. I'm happy to read it once you've done it. If you want to send it over.
Okay.
But I think the project was fine. I think the research questions are good. I think the methods look fine. It's just that it needs the literature.
Oh, okay.
And I think it could be very interesting because I don't think there is much research, so I think it could be. And I think that you could, I think by interviewing students, there's a nice fit between the methods and the research questions. You'll be able to answer your questions, which is the most important thing, really. So the challenge here is just going to be tying it to the relevant literature.
The challenge tying in the literature.
Tying it all to the relevant literature.
Oh.
So working out how you want to kind of frame the literature.
So I feel in the literature and start from two aspects. The first is international students
Migrants, yeah, international students.
Yeah. And the second one is the labor market, labor code market.
Context. Yeah. I mean, if you find any literature on returning student migrants returning home, then that would obviously be great. But I don't know if there really is much.
Yeah, maybe some in Chinese.
Yeah, maybe some in Chinese. Yeah.
Maybe Chinese.
There might be some. But students integrating back into their local economy, I wonder, I'm not sure, but a kind of a search will help you identify whether there is that research or not. Okay. Right, that's all I can say really. I think send over what you have, and I'm happy to read it before you submit it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you so much. That's
It's fine. No, not at all. I mean, I wish that I knew more about this area, but it's not really my area of expertise. It's migration is, but not student migration. So but I think it could be an interesting project. So.
Thank you, and I will send to you when I'm done for the literature I will send to you when I complete it.
Brilliant, that'd be great. Alright, that's lovely then.
We can send the ethic form.
Maybe send that as well, that'd be useful. Yeah. You can send it on time, it's not urgent now, whenever.
Okay,